leading the charge for Congress to take over, because to all of this, Congressman, this just looks like a mess.
Well, it truly does, and the Fusion GPS op-ed is as unreliable as the Fusion GPS dossier. For more than 5 months now, we've had 20 members of the House Judiciary Committee calling for a second special counsel to evaluate the nexus between the DNC, the Clinton Foundation, Fusion GPS, and Russians, the very Russians who told lies to undermine the President of the United States both before and after his election. So we'll get to the bottom of this, and the fact that we're turning up the heat on our investigation is likely one reason why Glenn Simpson wanted to tell his side of the story in the newspaper. Now we're ready for him to tell his side of the story in open hearings in Congress.
I got to tell you, Congressman, though, we hear you, and we know your ambition, and we know that you're going after this, but at this point, it feels to the American people like, is anybody going to be held accountable? Is anything going to actually come of this?
That's a totally fair question, and the number one thing that can hasten accountability in this system is an attorney general who will step up and do his job. And unfortunately, we don't really know whether the attorney general is in charge on issues that relate to Fusion GPS and their collusion with others to undermine Donald Trump. The attorney general's recusal may or may not cover that issue because it has some ties to Hillary Clinton and the DNC. So we'd like to see the attorney general renounce that recusal, appoint a second special counsel, and really deliver the facts for the American people. I'm skeptical that just closed-door meetings with members of Congress will really give us the transparency we need to really expose this scandal.
I'm convinced, Congressman, at the end of these days, we're all left with more questions than answers.
Well, we can get answers if we have open, sworn testimony. I always believe that sunshine is the best disinfectant, and that's why we need to get these folks under oath before Congress. And we also need the FBI to tell us what role they had. It's troubling to me that Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, would not tell us whether there was taxpayer money used to reimburse Glenn Simpson. That's something we all have a right to know.
Well, Congressman Gaetz, you have been passionate about this from the beginning. We continue to hear from you, and we'll continue to watch where this goes. We thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you. And President Trump